Hey, everybody. It's 10:30 on the nose. Hi, Hannah.
Hey, Kris.
Hannah's in New Jersey. I'm in Washington. We had a windstorm like crazy last night, really, really bad. So I winterized the place this morning, and all the critters are fine. But
That's good.
they had a windy, windy night. So right now we have no eyes on the prize.
Is it cold over there?
It's going to be 20. It's going to be 20 next week. Right now it's about, let me see, I think I can tell you, it's 45 degrees. And
you're going to hate me.
Why?
Our high today is 78.
Oh my goodness. Well, not that long ago we were getting that.
Yeah. Abby is not happy.
Yeah. Abby likes cold?
She likes winter. I mean, snow is beautiful, clean, freshly laid snow, that's beautiful, but that's not going to happen when you're in, 78 degrees.
Right. Oh, we have a comment here, but we have no eyes. How is that? Hello, how are you? Now, how come I have a comment from Tina, but no eyes? Good.
I don't know.
Join us. But if you'd like to join us, I'm going to send you, Tina. Copy. I don't know. She's shy. She may not. Aha. John's here, but
hey, John.
Nobody's watching. How crazy is this?
I don't know. I think we had something like that last week.
Did we?
Or not last week. The last ever knew.
Okay. Okay, then we have people. Well, two people now we have two eyes. I mean, two people that we know of, and they just now showed up. So it's so that I could see that there are people here. John or Tina, if you want to join us, whoops, let me put it up there. There's how you can join us live. It's just us four.
Woo!
At the moment. So if you'd like to join us live, please come on in. We are good, Tina. We hope you are good. She just had a trip to see her mom.
And yeah?
Now she's back home, has been for about the last 4 days, but she took a several-day railroad trip to get to see her mom.
Aw.
John was taking a walk. John, you want to join us here live as a co-host? Come on, guys. It's just us four at the moment. It won't be scary. We won't bite.
I won't bite.
I will.
Kris bites, but
I do bite. Yes, I do bite. Here is. I'm going to look and be sure that's absolutely yes. That is the right number to join us if you want to. You don't have to. Okay, let's start with Joyride. Hannah, I'm going to put some pictures up here, and you can. Not right now, John says, but maybe in a little bit. Hannah and her family are an acting family, an entertainment acting family. They go all out for Halloween. So I'm going to put some photos up and you look at this lovely, lovely, lovely lady I have as my co-host. Now take a look. Oh my gosh.
That was from a couple weeks ago at a haunted trail. I was a scare actor there.
And your sister made the costume.
She did the costume. She made the mask. We did not order it or buy it. That's latex.
Wow.
She made the guts,
Incredible. And here's a picture of Abby, her sister, and her.
That was a Halloween night. We were being zombies on the front lawn and scaring trick-or-treaters, which was
really scaring them. And here is what her dad put up, which before it had a police line, do not cross or something like that in front.
No, that was at the door, the front door.
Oh, okay. That was here.
Yeah, we had a caution tape or whatever, and we realized, a couple hours in, we weren't getting a lot of people coming up to the house, and we realized that they were taking the tape seriously. So we took the tape down, and then more and more people started coming in. They had my parents asked Abby and I to be out on the lawn as the zombies and, you know, like point to the door or something and be like, Candy! Or whatever. There was this one little girl, probably about 9 years old, dressed as Wednesday Addams. And you'd think that she'd be really into it because Addams Family, but she wasn't. She was scared. And me being the kind person that I am, I targeted her. That when you become a scare actor, if no one watching this has been, you get into like the zone. You know, you go after anyone who, you know, seems to be like already pretty freaked out. You tend not to care how old they are.
Right.
There was one time in a haunted house where I had mercy on someone, and that was because someone took their 2-year-old in, and the 2-year-old was already crying.
Oh.
So I had mercy on the child, and then got yelled at for doing so by the person running the haunted house. But anyway, back to Wednesday Addams. She's like clutching, you know, like herself around her dad's middle, and I hear her dad just be like, "You haven't ever hugged me like this." So I see it as bringing families together.
Yes. Yeah. And here's their front yard. Look at
she
that.
was about 9. She eventually made it to the door, but we had some teenagers come up who didn't even make it to the door. You know, like as soon as we started like charging at them, which is what we would do, you know, you go around, you know, like, you know, and then you look at them for a minute, and then you just charge. And they ran. Someone tried to hide like around the garage in front of our car, you know. Other people, you know, I don't know that. Well, they didn't make it to the door at all. They ran. Some people, I don't know. I mean, they made it to the door, but I think like just barely. Yeah, because they were like screaming, running, you know.
Wow.
We kept going after people like that. That was fun.
I absolutely love Hannah's Facebook page because she's often putting things out there of what that her family does. They are an acting family, a production-oriented family. They go all out for so many things. And it's just like, I want to live with Hannah. Sounds like you're always having such a wee of a time. I know you're not always having that much of a wee of a time, but you always make every single event, every single opportunity, you turn it into an adventure.
Well, thank you.
It's very young, it's lighthearted, and it's like, oh my gosh, if more families were like that.
There used to be a couple houses in the neighborhood that went out even harder than we do now. You know, but a couple, one of the families had to stop because they were putting up their decorations, and one of the guys doing it had a heart attack in the middle of it. Yeah. He's alive. He's alive. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
he's alive.
Yeah.
But after that, they were like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
So then, a couple of years later, a family moved in not too far from our house, and they went all out. And a couple of years ago, they were scaring people, and then they scared a kid so bad that they ran into the street and were almost hit by a car.
Oh no. Yeah.
So this year, Abby and I were like, "All right, so we're taking over. We're gonna try not to scare anyone to the point where they're hit by a car."
Right.
So,
right.
Thankfully, there was never any, you know, no threat of that. So
when I first got back from Hollywood, I was with my sister for a while before I found a place to rent. And for one of her Halloweens, I have a really, really good witch's laugh, a high-pitched, shrieking witch's laugh. And a couple of times she would open the door for little trick-or-treaters, and I'd do this witchy laugh and scared the babies and just, you know, scared the baby. And I was like, okay, I got to stop that, you know. But it was.
You're a better person than I am. I would have been.
It was.
I would have gone for the babies and gone on to. You know,
I did it to the older kids, but I watched out the window to be sure there was no one time was going to, you know, end up having to be in therapy because of me. Yeah.
Well, Abby and I were talking. We're like, watch them, you know, like have to go to therapy because of this, or they're already in therapy.
Yes.
You know, and then they just come. Yeah. Well, I wasn't there for this, but I used to be a part of a youth group when I was in high school called Young Life.
Mm-hmm.
And one year they had a Halloween party at someone's farm, and they had a haunted hayride. So I get on, and they're going through through their farm, the land and everything, and it's surrounded by woods. So I'm expecting people to jump out with masks and all that, but that never happened. It was just a regular hayride. So I got off, and I was saying to someone, why call it a haunted hayride if it's just a regular hayride? Why just not put a sign? Yeah, they had a sign that said haunted hayride. Why not just have a sign that says hayride? And they said it used to be a haunted hayride. What happened was they used to have people running out of the woods in masks. And there was this one guy who went on every hayride who was designated, to once you get to a certain place, this guy in like a Bigfoot costume or whatever runs out of the woods, grabs him, pulls him off the hayride, and drags him into the woods. Well, Bigfoot grabbed the wrong person.
Oh, no.
Pulled them off the thing and drug them into the woods.
Oh, no.
So watch that poor person's therapist,
Yeah. Yes, really.
So it's like, all right, it's been a couple of weeks. How have you been?
Yeah, you got to be careful there, I guess so. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. I think Tina's referring to your costumes. That's really funny. Yeah, yep. You have a wonderful T-shirt. I've seen this movie. It's wonderful. Oh, talking about your T-shirt, Hannah.
Oh, yeah. My mom actually made it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's very talented.
Oh, yeah.
I know you know that, Kris, but they don't.
I'm going to put her banner up so they can go
yeah.
see.
I seem to be the only person on the planet, though, but I'm not big on. I don't care for Hocus Pocus. No, I didn't think it was funny, and I didn't like it.
Yeah. Instead of this long number that I put just below here, this is Barbie Sue's Facebook page. Just look up Decoration Duo or Barbie Sue McCrane. Barbie Sue Delaney McCrane, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But anyhow, it's called Decoration Duo if you want to look her up. She's got some really fabulous things. I think when you were here, I showed the T-shirt you made for me of McCoy that was done like with the Andy Warhol type theme.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. John Bart says, I've seen some good Halloween costumes. Yes. It's a pity that Halloween is not celebrated in Mountain County. Well, it sounds to me like Tina, like you, actually dressed up as Kirk, Spock, and McCoy on pretty much the same day and kind of did it your way anyway. So, yeah. And she also did Day of the Dead. She put up, I don't know if this is okay for me to share, but she did something. Day of the Dead is usually November 1st and 2nd or October 1st and 2nd. I can't remember, but some people celebrate it on Halloween and around All Saints Day and All Souls Day, which follows Halloween. So she did something for Dee and Carolyn on that day. Cookie Sword's here. Cookie Sword had a wonderful McCoy costume for Halloween, but said I can't show it to you. So I won't show it to you. But it was really, really good.
It was very nice.
Hannah and I both saw it. It looked really, really real authentic, like you could have been on the TV show with it. I had one of those way back in the far back a long time ago that was similar, but I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. I do have it looks like a scrub and it says Starfleet Medical Corps on it.
Nice.
Yeah. But that's about the only thing I have that's
what I like to think about with Halloween and Star Trek is like the original actors while they were still making the show, what it would be like for them to open the door for kids, trick-or-treating, and they see the kids dressed up as their character.
Yeah.
How do you think we would have responded if, trick-or-treat, opens the door and there's a McCoy?
Oh, you know what? Cookie just sort of said, seeing as most people here I know, you can go ahead and show it if you want to. Well, do you have a story you can tell while I go look that one up?
Are you talking to me?
Or shall we do it?
Cookie Sword.
next time I'm talking to you. um, it would take me a minute to find it, I think, because it's in an email. Although I may have, let me look and see real quick if I
How
put
was
it.
everyone else's Halloween? To those who celebrate it, was it
Yeah.
nice? Yeah, I love Halloween. There's an elementary school not too far from where I live. So on Halloween, Abby and I went up there and just watched this little parade that the kids do. They walk around a certain area of the school in their costumes, and it is the cutest thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cookie Sword, it's in an email. I will do it next time. Because it's really, really, really plus it's nice to see who you are. Lovely lady. So I will do that next time. John, I would have to say I've seen dress up as Spock that's really so close it's kind of impressive. I think Leonard Nimoy would be really impressed. I have too. I had some Joyride. I'm writing a new book. It's not about D. I'm writing a new book. The tentative title is Trailblazer, a guide for magnificent misfits, kind of about finding your purpose and how to get from where you are to where you want to be. Been doing a lot of writing this week for clients, which always floats my boat because that's my passion in life is stringing words together on paper to make them really, really riveting. And as I mentioned yesterday, this is not a joyride, but it was almost a witch ride. It was so windy here last night. We have what they call an atmospheric river going overhead. Lots of wind and lots of rain, and they expect like 2 inches of rain in 24 hours, which is good because we've been so darn dry. Literally from July 1st until about 2 weeks ago, we were drier than Las Vegas. We got less rain than Las Vegas here in supposedly the Pacific Northwest. I mean, it was really, really dry and very tinder dry. Nobody could put a fire outside or anything because any spark would have set the whole place up in flames. So I'm glad to see the rain is back and we can actually, burn paper again if we need to. The next DeForest Kelley collection, and again, I'll put that banner up right here. The next 10 or so items from the DeForest Kelley collection will go live on the 14th, which is not long from now. And what else? The Enterprise, I don't know if I mentioned this, guys, but the Enterprise memorial flight that was going to be scheduled for November or December has been pushed off to January. So just to let you know, I will keep you in the loop and let you know when it's going to be. As soon as I find out, I'm going to have a 2-week opportunity to get tickets and fly over there. They're going to fly me over there to talk about D and to watch the launch. But I'll only have like a 2-week notice. So if they tell me the day after Evernew, you'll have to kind of watch my Facebook page for that. And if, of course, we may have to cancel an Evernew if it happens during an Evernew weekend. So, yeah. But I'll keep you in the loop on that. Unless you want to take it solo. I don't know if you can from there.
I don't think I can.
I think if you logged on and created it, you could.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to do that or not. Those of you who want a Christmas newsletter from me, please send me an email stating so, because a holiday newsletter. I always send it out before Thanksgiving, so it's a holiday newsletter, basically what's been happening, the big stuff. My email address is this, Kris@wordwhisperer.net, and I don't know why I've got it streaming like that. It doesn't have to be streaming, but okay. Any more comments? If not, what I'm going to do, let me see where everybody is. Everybody's on ND Mean Media. That's awesome because that means everybody can comment as they see fit to do that. So What I'm going to do now, unless you have something else to share, Hannah, do you?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. I know we've just flipped to November 4th. Oh, my other thing is, you guys in the U.S., will you please vote? Please vote. Please vote. This is a very consequential election, and I want everybody to vote. I'm going to do another excerpt from October Trek, because I found a really, really fun excerpt that I haven't read before. Okay, so where does it start? I just put notes on it. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, I found it. Here we go. Highlights and lowlights of the October Trek convention. This was actually in Sue Keenan's fan club newsletter, the Forrest Kelly communique. I wrote it. I was like the reporter for the Forrest Kelly conventions. So highlights and lowlights of the October Trek convention reported by Crazy Kris Smith. You know, Dee called me Crazy Kris because I called me Crazy Kris first. Usually it's possible to provide a chronological rendition of happenings at a convention. In order to do that with October Trek, though, it'd take an entire newsletter. So forget it. Here are the highlights from my limited perspective. I only witnessed the parts I witnessed, so everyone else experienced a different set of circumstances, unless they happen to be loitering with me. So here's what happened to me, us, you. U.S. Air, the official airline of October Trek, went on strike on the Monday before the convention. But what's a little transporter malfunction to a diehard Trekkie? We all just hopped a red eye and still managed to reach our destination.
I see what you did.
Kat and I arrived at 6 a.m. flights on Thursday, and we were greeted by Sue and Sandy, who whisked us over to Sandy's place, where we loaded the rented Ryder truck with boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of October Trek paraphernalia. We believe this was the first of Sue and Sandy's gotchas. The second gotcha would introduce himself to us shortly. At about 2 p.m., we arrived at the convention hotel, where we deposited our baggage. The room was mercifully and pleasantly unadorned, much to our relief. Sue and Sandy had been too busy, hooray. What? Watching us load boxes? To trash our rooms this time. Then we took a nap, or tried to. We were exhausted. At about 7 p.m., we met Reggie Holloway in the hotel lobby and then headed for food. We were famished. We ordered a pizza from one of the hotel eateries, and as we waited for it, right on cue, over came a good-looking, compact, hyperactive, genuine descendant of some bronzed Italian who announced in a loud voice while pointing a finger at us as if pronouncing sentence, "I know you! You're the two crazy ladies. Sue has told me about you. I've got videotape of you."
That's really creepy when you think of it.
Huh?
That's really creepy when you think about it.
That's how we
like
met.
Video from other conventions, or
Exactly. That's how we met gotcha number 2 in the person of Daryl, Bones the Cat's doting daddy. Cute kid, we thought, until we remembered this kid is 20 years old and well on his way to becoming a veterinarian. He only looks and acts 12. We knew Daryl was our designated sidekick by order of Sue and Sandy. He was determined to be a companion. It was a calculated decision on his part. Proof follows shortly. We connected with Ann Johnson, Susan Beasley, and their friend Diane, all of whom are from Texas and sound like it. How y'all doing? We also spent a few minutes visiting with Jackie Edwards, who lives all of 5 minutes from me, but we only see her at decons. Not because we're not crazy about her, but because our schedules seem to be mutually exclusive. All of us were tired and looking forward to crashing shortly. Friday morning, we delayed getting up until it became mandatory, then went down for breakfast in the hotel's main restaurant. We registered for the convention after that and got our badges. While waiting in line, we reconnected with Marcia Coates from Michigan and others. Upon returning to our hotel room, we found hanging over our shower spigot a rubber snake and a sign which ominously forewarned, "It's coming." The Nemesis had begun their assault. We gulped and decided it was time to launch our counteroffensive. We pulled out some Dr. McCoy photos, which we had embellished with original and bizarre quotes, And Kat and Ruth Cordry, her good friend from Florida, took them to Sue and Sandy's rooms, beamed in, and placed them intelligently in appropriate spots. For example, one photo of McCoy grinning broadly found its way into Sandy's bathroom, where he proclaimed, "Looking good, Sandy." Both of their pillows had a photo of a reclining McCoy holding his hand to his head with the quote, "Not tonight, dear, I have a headache." They also short-sheeted Sandy's bed. Not that anyone felt Sandy would ever get a chance to climb in and notice she was short-sheeted, since she was running the convention day and night, but just in case she did, the bed was ready. Friday was spent visiting mostly. At about 7 p.m., we decided we should go to our room and round up a dinner party by inviting all our friends, even Daryl. As we approached the door of our room, who should we spot at our door but Daryl himself, who was preoccupied at the moment and didn't spot us. We shouted, "Daryl!" He jumped up and yelled, "Oh, shit!" I said, "Don't go. We want to invite you to dinner." "Oh, shit," Daryl repeated, and fell onto the floor in the perfect imitation of a puppy's "I've give up" posture. Fortunately, he didn't pee the way a puppy would have. Right away, I knew something was not quite right. I grabbed his wrist and noticed that he held in his hand a small can of shaving cream. "Aha," I said. "What's this?" "Nothing, I swear it," he lied. "Nothing?" "Nothing," he cried. "Well, we'll see about that," I said. Kat and I dragged him through the doorway into our hotel room and spotted a note which he had just written and placed underneath the door. It read, "Kat and Kris, the Italian stud puppy, was here." "The Italian stud puppy?" I repeated. "Well, the Italian stud puppy is going to get very, very wet right about now." We dragged him into the bathroom and I turned on the water in the bathtub. "No," he protested. "Oh, yes," I confirmed. "My pockets are full of stuff I can't get wet," he told us frantically. "Then take your pants off," I suggested calmly. "No," he screamed. So much for the Italian stud proclamation. "Okay, then," I said, "well, just unload your pockets. We'll just unload your pockets," which I did. Then we lowered him into the tub. After we let him up, we made him sit on the rim of the tub and held up his stud puppy note as evidence that we had every right and obligation to defend ourselves. Then I took his can of shaving cream, which he had so generously provided, and wrote, "We love Daryl" on his pants leg. Then we took pictures, which we assured him would find their way to the Kellys and to Sue Keenan. "No," he yelled, "I'll kill you." We were scared. Ahem. Kat went to his hotel room and fetched him some dry clothes and reported back to us the variety of styles she had to choose from out of his suitcase, including a pair of Garfield shorts. By this time, our room was filled with friends who had thus far been informed about the dinner. They were enjoying the wailings of Daryl and the John, changing clothes and bemoaning his sorry existence under the thumb of these two crazy ladies. As soon as he emerged from the bathroom, we grabbed him again, threw him on the bed, and tied him up. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Okay, I'm going to skip a little bit and I'm going to go down a little. Dee appeared at 4 p.m. on Saturday, and he was a real hit with everyone. This isn't news, but he was fantastic. He must enjoy being at October Trek in particular, it seems. He always seems to be just a little bit nuttier at Sandy's conventions. He looked great and very sexy, as the fan-written songs at the DKFC party auction will attest. I read those last week. Last time we were together, he read his latest poem, "The Dream Goes On and On and On," and then handed it to Ann Johnson of the Texas gang with a "Happy Birthday, Ann" greeting. At the question and answer portion of his appearance, Dee made a big playful issue out of having his fans question him from a microphone placed in the middle of the auditorium. He pretended he didn't know where they were due to the fact that the sound system and the fans' voices were on stage with him and the fans were someplace else. When the first fan's disembodied voice addressed him with "Mr. Kelly," Dee looked heavenward and responded, "Yes, Lord," and then proceeded to let the fan believe, for more than a minute, that he really didn't know where he was. It was hysterical. After his appearance, many of us headed into our rooms to rest or to prepare for the evening's DKFC party and auction. Kat and I were in charge of the entertainment portion of the festivities. So in advance, we rehearsed our musical numbers, which were songs about Dee, McCoy, and the Rowdy Cowboy, sung to familiar tunes on a karaoke machine. Satisfied that the new lyrics were firmly entrenched in our minds, we waited for the time to go downstairs and make complete fools of ourselves. Neither of us can carry a tune in a bucket, but what the heck? More humor for the funny bones. On our way out the door, we noticed a pair of men's underwear hanging on the doorknob. The Italian stud puppy had struck again. We made a sign that advised Italian stud puppy underwear and took it and the BBDs down to the party suite with us. Figured it might embarrass the little shit. Hope springs eternal. We arrived on time and hung the briefs and the sign in the branches of a decorative display the hotel had provided for the party suite. Then we helped ourselves to the sumptuous meal Sue had arranged. We visited with most of the club members at the party until Sue officially gave us the floor. We explained the Italian stud puppies annex and our very understandable responses to everyone's amusement. At that point, we broke the large group into 5 smaller groups to write their own song to the tune of Dee's most popular hit, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, or for any other tune they cared to attempt. We were astounded by the creativity that flowed from the gathering in such a short time. With only 10 minutes to write, 5 of the dandiest stories ever written were devised. Then we had the group stand up and audio tape their songs into the karaoke machine so that we could deliver a copy of the audio tape to the Kellys at a later time. Then we all learned a song that Kat and I had written to be included on the audio tape, a kind of welcome back to Baltimore song to the tune of Hello Dolly. The auction to benefit the North Shore Animal League followed. A representative of the league, Mike Arms, detailed with photographs the North Shore's recent rescue of animals displaced or injured by the hurricane in Florida. He received a round of applause, and by the end of the evening, the club members had rounded up not only some nice mementos from the auction, but more than $2,500 for the animals at North Shore. Just as things were about to wrap up for the night, Sue received word that Carolyn had found another star pin, a memento of Dee's star ceremony, which attendees to that event had received, and that it would be sent over to auction off. Since we had one book of poetry without a star pin attached and figured it would bring a dandy price, most of us decided to hang around and wait for it. Lucky thing. The messengers were Dee and Carolyn. The crowd fell silent after a mighty roar of approval, and Sue quickly snatched the Italian stud puppy's underwear off the floor in the room. Sorry you missed it, Dee and Carolyn. I'm especially sorry because Daryl would have been so completely mortified had you seen it. After Carolyn had taken her seat, and just before Dee took his, I asked the group if they'd like to sing Hello DeForest to him live, and they all responded with great enthusiasm. So we sang to Dee in unison, up close and personal, the DeForest Kelley song. At the words "take a bow," Dee did just that graciously. It was terrific and touching. When the song ended, Dee thanked everyone in attendance for their support of his career and then asked if everyone would introduce themselves. Well, Daryl had indulged quite heavily during the evening. By this, I mean he had one drink, and inside his diminutive body, that's all it took. I looked over at him at one point after the Kellys had arrived, and he confessed to me, "Oh, great, now that they're here, and I feel like puking." He sat back and tried to look unobtrusive, but since he has been writing to them for eons, when it came time for him to introduce himself to them, Dee said, "Oh, I know you, Daryl. Come on over here. I want to get a good look at you." Daryl stood up and said incredulously, "You do?" Dee said, "Yes, we do." So Daryl stepped over and shook hands. Carolyn's first question to Daryl was, "Where's your cat? Where's Bones?" Daryl answered, "He's in my room," to which Dee responded, "Well, go get him." Daryl, obedient for the first time in anyone's memory, headed out the door at near warp speed. Dee turned in his chair, studied the door that had closed behind Daryl, and proclaimed with great conviction, "That is the littlest vet I have ever seen." Daryl was told later what Dee said about him and now says that his veterinary practice will be named the Littlest Vet, and I believe him. Okay, there you go. We got
that was amazing.
See, we had crazy fun times. Really crazy fun times. It's a pity that Halloween is not. Oh, wait a minute. The German Spock that looks like Nimoy, absolutely. And I can't remember his name, but he's.
No, I can't for the life of me.
Yeah. Was Dee good at giving out Christmas gifts? They said they really didn't exchange gifts all that much after 50 years married to each other. They kind of just went and got what the other person wanted and gave it to them, that kind of thing. But when it came to, I know every year I got usually a Harry and David's tower of, nuts and candies and stuff like that. I think one year they sent mom and dad a Harry and David's healthy fruit basket because dad was diabetic. But as far as I know, yeah, they were pretty good about Christmas gifts. You walk around and someone points at you and calls you out. I was kind of nervous if someone did that. Yeah, it was a little off-putting. And I went, okay, this is Sue and Sandy. I don't know if it really was Sue and Sandy in retrospect, but I figured it was Sue and Sandy said, sick 'em, So, yeah, we just took him under our wing and, tortured him a little bit. He loved it. He came out and visited us later in California. Sounds like a great time. It was just so much fun. Innocent fun. We had so much innocent fun all the time. We ran a campaign it was an election year, and we ran a campaign that Sue and Sandy would be reelected as the president and vice president of the DeForest Kelley fan communique. And we ran up and down the halls in the convention saying, 4 more years, 4 more years. And it embarrassed Sue and Sandy because they're like behind the scenes type people. They don't really like to be pointed out much. They're pretty shy. And so, yeah, it was torturous for them, but they deserved it. They were absolutely wonderful, wonderful people. So.
My godfather did something similar to me. My freshman year of high school, I was in marching band.
Uh-huh.
And Reg was also in marching band. And so he and I were just standing around talking, joking about different stuff. Now, my godfather was in charge of a different school's color guard.
Uh-huh.
So as we're just talking, suddenly we see like 6 people with flags running at us. Now they're encircling us, still running and chanting my name. And I look at Reg and I'm like, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this. I'm going to kill him.
Yes. Your mom says that's the best kind of fun. I wish I could have been there when he was alive. I really missed out. One of the reasons I wrote the book was so that you don't have to, I know you weren't there, but you don't have to miss out. You can see what happened, what they were doing. And, as close as I could do it, I wanted to put you in the middle of the action, the reader in the middle of the action, so that they could feel like they were there. That was the main reason for me to write the book, was like, these memories are too precious for me to keep to myself. I want people to know what a kick he was. See that McCoy gif up in the corner there of him doing that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure he was doing an awful lot of that with some of the, and then he would do it right back. In fact, Adam Malin, the head of creation, came up to us in Sacramento and said, you have to do something to Dee. And I said, no, we don't. And he said, yes, you do. If you don't do something to Dee, I will give you something to do to Dee. And I'm like, all right, well, we felt bad about that because usually if we were going to do something, we let Dee and Carolyn know in advance and got their permission. Even my comedy routines, I sent them advance because one of them was lusting after McCoy, So I asked Carolyn, I said, Adam Malin wants us to get Dee in some way. Would you ask Dee if that's okay? And she said, okay, I will. And she went and asked him, he said, whatever Adam Malin wants, he's paying me. So she said, go ahead, do whatever you want to do, and we did. We had a lot of fun. He was wonderful. He was wonderful because he could really roll with the punches. If something unexpected happened, he could just, boom, just like that, come up with something. And what we came up with, since Kat and I were star polishers, with what Reggie Holloway, who looked like Mr. Clean, this big, bulky, bald-headed, son of a gun, he dragged us out of the audience and brings us up on stage and deposits us in front of Dee. We fall on our knees, and Dee immediately realized what was going on, and he turned around and he said, security, very, very deadly serious, security. And I thought, oh my God, doesn't he? He did it so well as an actor. You thought, he's not serious, is he? Of course, then we realized he saw the twinkle in his eye. And Reggie says, and Reggie was scared to death. He'd never done anything like this in front of anybody, let alone a crowd. I find these two loitering at your star. And I said, a cat said, we were just there polishing your star. And I said, like, for the 4th time this week, which was a joke. And Dee kind of looked at us and he said, all right. And then he did the Catholic absolving of sin thing, you know, like go and sin no more. I mean, it was hysterical. He could just grab, you know, whatever was happening and like do the, what do they call that? Impromptu type stuff.
Improv.
Improv in a heartbeat. He just was really good at that. So yeah, we had fun. Yeah, it's like being dragged in front of the Klingons. Yeah, it is. Oh, it sounds like Hannah. Sounds like something Hannah would have done.
What sounds like something I would have done?
I don't know, Mom. Tell us. Hannah doing the
messing with people, then yes.
Messing with people? Ad lib, right. Or improv. It's known in the theater as improv. Where they give you a situation and you just have to, you don't have a script, you just go with it.
Yep.
Okay. That's it. So that's where I'm at. I think we are 10, 11. We're at 45 minutes in. Does anybody have any questions, comments, reactions, any photos you want to send us so we can show your Halloween costumes? Because I'm thinking it's going to be a short show if we don't. Which is okay. We want every moment to count. So it doesn't have to be an hour long or any longer than it needs to be.
I wish we had a picture, but years ago I was in a haunted house, as a scare actor. Where the room was black. Like it was totally black except for these neon polka dots. So what I had to do, I showed up, in all black. And I got there and they attached these neon polka dots to me.
Whoa! So you just
in a black mask, and I would just pop out of the wall, basically.
Wow.
It was nice. It was nice because when Megan was going to go through, it was her and her special chair and whoever was pushing her, and they would let us know so we could just not scare her, just be like, hey, something like that. Ironically, though, she still got scared.
When
someone was behind a painting, and what was supposed to happen, the painting was supposed to drop, and that made a loud banging sound and revealed the person. So the thing drops, makes a loud banging sound. Hi, Maggie, or whatever. The banging is what got her. The bang. She started crying. The poor kid.
When I was little, my mom and dad dressed up as Beauty and the Beast for a PTA Halloween, thing.
Yeah.
Festival. And before they sprang it on the world, I was in bed one night and I'm, 6 or 7 years old. And this gorilla comes into the room. I mean, he was hunched over and he was, and I mean, I freaked. I panicked. I was absolutely terrified. And Dad immediately realized what he had done. He said, honey, it's just me. It's okay. And he pulled his head off. So for the next several months, I kept dreaming that a gorilla had eaten my dad.
No. When I was about 9, we have a collection of nutcrackers that we put out every December. There's like 27, 28, 29 nutcrackers. And this one year we got 2 big ones. And I was about 9 years old. I had just gotten into bed. And suddenly this nutcracker pokes its head around like through my door. And I hear it go, good night, Hannah. What's going through my head is, this thing is possessed. And I'm just like, don't call mom because this thing's gonna like attack her and kill her. But I didn't know what else to do, so I'm just like, Mom! You know, she pokes her head around the thing and she's like, I'm sorry.
You gotta be careful with kids. Yes. Put them in therapy, I tell you what. And then, of course, as soon as I figured out it was Dad, I went to that PTA thing and watched him scare, the kids there. They were all in these enclosed little tent-like things, so you didn't know what you were getting into until you walked in. And it was like, oh my gosh, these little kids are shrieking and yelling and crying. And I'm like, I understand.
I did a different kind of a haunted house thing one time. They gave me an axe, a real axe. Yeah. Someone collapsed. Someone got so scared that they just dropped.
Oh.
I don't have pictures of that either because I wasn't supposed to be a part of it. Of the actual scaring process. I was at the end collecting donations to keep this thing going. But the last night they were going to do it, the guy who was supposed to have the axe, who was dressed up as Freddy Krueger, didn't show. So at the last second, I'm like, well, I can do it. So I just put a little bit of makeup, and blood on my face, and
yeah,
I ended up chasing people.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time hearing this. They canceled the 4th Star Trek movie. John heard it, and so did Tina in Russia. Oh, that's too bad. I gave Carl one of Dee's neckerchiefs, and he said, if we do another movie, it will be in the movie. You will see it. I'll use it as part of an homage to Dee. That must have just happened.
It doesn't mean that they won't necessarily make a 4th one. They could have just decided that they didn't like the idea, or one of the actors isn't available, so they could just be making it at a later date.
How soon ago? How new is this? I mean, this is the first I've heard of it. Did it just happen this week? Because I think just last week I heard something about Carl talking about doing another one. Wow, that's a bummer. They lost their director. Well, that doesn't mean necessarily anything.
Oh, yeah.
They can find another director.
It might not necessarily be canceled. It could just be put on hold then.
Right. I hope so. Oh, no, Carl would have done it. The boys, they don't film 365 days a year. They have schedules, and you can shoot around people. The only one time they had to really put it off for 2 years was when Leonard was a hot director, and they didn't want to do a movie without Spock, so they waited for him.
Understandably.
Yeah, so that's that makes sense. About a month ago. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good and sad to know.
News to me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess we are pretty much caught up. Are we?
Alrighty. I guess so.
Are you available in 2 weeks, Hannah? On the 9th?
I should be.
Helen's birthday Helen's not on here today. She's tis me in New Zealand. I know she just went to visit her sons in Australia, and she should be back this weekend. But her birthday is on Monday, so I want to wish Helen a happy birthday on Monday. Is anybody else's birthday coming up between now and the next?
My mom. My mom's birthday. My mom's birthday is November 13th.
Happy birthday, Barbie Sue. That's mom of a Star Trek junkie.
I just heard her yell, thank you.
I just ordered some new stuff from her too. She's a Scentsy distributor, and I found some more stuff I wanted. Oh my gosh, she's excellent. So,
well, I mean, it's Scentsy. You can't go wrong, and it's it's pet friendly. So if your cats ever got into it, it won't hurt them.
Absolutely, and oh my gosh, it makes this place smell so fabulous. She told me one of her favorite scents is the oh great, now all of a sudden it's skipped my mind. Anyhow, I just ordered spice and oh shoot.
I'm with you. I can't get any of these names straight either.
It's clove and cinnamon. Clove and cinnamon. It sounds awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
John.
That, every October, November.
John says he follows a lot of Star Trek Facebook groups, and it was all over in those groups. Okay, that's
oh,
thank you. Well, you're the mom of one of my favorite people, among other wonderful things that you are. So I'm glad to know it's your birthday coming up. I'm always checking Trek movie. I don't always check it. Yes, that's it. Okay, I guess that's it, gang.
All right, we'll see you.
We will see you in another 2 weeks, we hope. We hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please share it. Share it. That's how we get more viewers. And there might be people on your timeline you don't even know about who are DeForest Kelley fans. So you might be doing them a favor. You probably will be doing a number of them a favor, and they'll probably thank you for it. So, okay, I'll sign off for now. Hannah will hang for a minute with me, and we'll say goodbye for now. Please share this. Those of you who are watching this as a rerun later, welcome. We love you. Let us know you were here. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.